this show going, man.
Hurry up, hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up!
Hurry up!
Come on now. We're gonna have action soon. Right here. It ain't going nowhere.
Boy, yeah, you got some technique, boy. You ain't show me that this summer.
Hey, wild cat.
Ball at the 5, third down and 2.
That was bad.
Let's go have some fun, bro. We ain't got to talk about too much.
He wasn't playing the ball.
It's holding.
Cliff, the Cliff. How is that not called?
That ain't gonna call a damn thing.
What is the delay for? He's standing right there.
He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper.
It's that close? Dear Lord.
Hello and welcome. We are the Aussie Guys. I'm AJ. Here with me is G. How are you, G?
Very well. I'm good. I'm just trying to I'm just getting my little gold label off. I introduced why
You're getting your what?
Well, the gold, whatever the shit they put at the top of champagne. You know.
Okay, all right. We should put it in context.
Yep.
And Schepps. We have
aluminum foil.
Aluminium foil. We call it.
Yes.
Anyway, Schepps, how you doing?
Good, man. I'm good. I'm 5 weeks into the fantasy football season. Last week was pretty good to me in most of my leagues, so I'm doing good, man. I'm rolling.
Screw you, Schepps.
What?
He knows why.
How did
everybody just worked out why straight away.
Because he beat you.
He did beat me.
Never mind.
But I still score well.
That league too, man. That I can't believe I'm 4-0, but at 2 points in the season I suffered a loss. I was 1-0 and then I lost week 2, and then like on Thursday I didn't even know they did this. There was a stat correction. I won, and then the next week, so now I'm 2-0, and then the next week I get a loss, and then on Thursday again I check in. Like I'm checking in to set my lineups on Thursday morning, and boom, I found out I won. So I went from being possibly 1-2 to 3-0 in
based on stat corrections.
It was pretty surprising.
Who's commissioner in that league?
I'm one of them. I'm one of the commissioners.
Just a coincidence, you know.
It is, but
it's usually IDP is the stat correction.
Yeah. I'd be so pissed if it was me and I lost. I'd be if I thought I won and then I found out on Thursday I lost. I'd be pretty fired up.
Well, what goes around comes around.
You did me all right. But that's all right. I'm still scoring really well in that league. I'm only like 1 or 2 points off being the highest scorer.
Right.
I don't know if does that help you make the finals? I have no idea. But anyway, no one wants to hear about our league, but
no one cares.
No one cares.
Drinks of the pod.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh. Very nice.
See, that's a classic drinking straight out of the bottle.
He's drinking. Now, G, I know you're a champagne guy. You brought a bottle of Moët.
Yes, it is cold. Yes.
Bottle of Moët as your drink of the pod.
Moët.
Moët.
Moet.
No, it's Moët.
Moet.
It's not Moet.
I think in America it's Moet.
Really?
It's Moet.
No, it's Moët, you say.
Moe? You're going to say Moe too.
Moët.
Moe is where all the single mothers live.
Careful.
Moe is a character from a Disney movie.
It's Moet.
Okay. Well,
and
we'll see.
You're the person who doesn't drink champagne, and I'm the one who drinks it like it's water.
All right. We'll check after this. All right. And I've got the Bridge Road...
Can we have a bet?
A bet?
Yeah, can we have a bet?
A bet?
Mm-hmm.
No. So you got me a Bridge Road Brewers, a robust porter.
Well, I got you that because...
It's from Beechworth. Yeah.
I looked up because what I've brought you as well is my daughter made chocolate brownies.
Looking very nice.
And made with real chocolate.
Lovely.
Right?
Yeah.
Melted real chocolate. And I looked up best beers to have with chocolate.
Oh,
Stouts,
really?
Dark beers, best to have with chocolate. So I'm looking after you.
Man.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Schepps, you get none.
Man, I did most of my drinking before I turned 21. So I would have never thought to like Google best beer to go with this or that. Like I just drank. Like, it was competitive.
Whatever came out of the tap.
It was going out of style. Yeah.
Well, the keg or...
That's funny that you could look that up, and there is like beers that go with chocolate.
That's how I treat the host of the show and our
thank you very much. I appreciate it, and beer connoisseurs all the world over just press stop on our pod, but they shouldn't have because we're respecting them, aren't we?
We are
due. We're giving them their due.
Well,
so
except for me drinking champagne, but
out of the bottle.
Out of the bottle.
I dare say.
There is no better way.
And eating brownies.
And eating brownies. So, boys, we're 4 weeks in the NFL season. Now, you may or may not know this, but the NFL teams are actually setting a record-setting pace in a number of major categories, including the following: points scored, touchdowns, passing yards, completions, completion percentage. Not only that, in all of those categories,
there's more.
It represents the highest through 4 weeks of a season in league history.
Helps if you can't touch the quarterback.
That was my question. Was going to be
it helps if your quarterback isn't Dak Prescott.
Didn't take long to shift to the Cowboys show, but he probably.
Oh man, but what I mean, but how hard? How you know? Because it burns.
Man, he's not even the worst. He's not even the worst QB going around.
We can't even go over 15 points a game. It's a passing league. And people are saying, oh, your wide receivers suck. Watch the film. Colt Beasley's getting open everywhere. Allen Hurns is getting open, and he can't even find him. He can't find him, let alone get him the ball. But I'm sorry. Let's move on because this sounds like a good tie-in, AJ. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And not only that,
yes.
We've had more 400-yard passing games this season already than the whole of last season combined.
Really? Well, look, this is the kind of league that the NFL.
I don't.
This is the kind of league the NFL wants to create. Obviously, makes it harder for defenders, but it's much more of a spectacle. Mind you, I mean, I really enjoy a defensive spectacle, but that's not everybody's cup of tea necessarily.
Well, you don't want it every week.
Or Moet, apparently.
Moet.
I want defensive football like the last 4 weeks of the season, and I know they can't control that by penalties, but I want defensive football leading into the playoffs and through the playoffs. You know, that's when I want to see like tough, grinded out football. But.
Yeah. Now, Saints quarterback Drew Brees. This week, he only needs 201 yards to become the NFL's all-time leading passing yardage leader. Saints are playing the Redskins. Gentlemen, do you know, now Drew Brees is currently, right as of this second, number 3. There are 2 people, and he's going to pass them both, you would think, this week. Do you know who's in front of him?
Dan Marino?
No.
Yards.
You'd have
passing
to know.
Yards.
You'd have to know who's
Peyton
number
Manning?
1, surely, or at least the pizza that
Is Peyton Manning up there?
likes to eat. Yes.
Did I just say Peyton? Is it Peyton Manning?
Yes.
Is he?
Yep. Okay. 71,940. And number 2 is...
Can you give us an error? What error
the
did this man
gunslinger himself.
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre. At 71,838. And Drew Brees will pass them both with a 201-yard passing day, which is something. And today, Thursday night football, or for you, Schepps, last night, Patriots defeated the Colts. Tom Brady actually became just the 3rd quarterback in history to throw 500 touchdown passes. 2 quarterbacks ahead of him.
They're going to ask us that too, are you?
Do you know who they are?
Peyton Manning is probably one of them.
Yes.
And,
539. He's number 1.
And Brett Favre is probably the other one.
He is.
Let's stick to that.
Yeah, at 508.
It's like
work and stick to it.
It's like what's on an exam A, B, C, D. If in doubt, answer C.
Now, Drew Brees is actually only just behind him. Drew Brees is on 496. So it's quite conceivable that both Brady and Brees will certainly be number 2 and 3, because Favre is only 8 ahead of Brady right now, and Manning is 39 ahead of Brady. So Brady has got, there's a little bit of catching up to do there. But anyway, thought that would be an interesting kind of take on the first quarter of the season.
Excellent. And Brady also, I think he's thrown the ball. He's thrown a touchdown to 71 different players now, and I think that's an all-time record. Josh Gordon was his 71st 71st different player to throw a touchdown to.
College education down in Florida is working well for you.
Yeah,
Shepsy.
that was the beer. That's the beer I was talking about.
What's that?
That means your time's up.
My time's up.
I'm keeping tabs on you today, mate.
All right. That means it's time to kick it in the butts. Kick it in the butts, I said.
Ooh.
Kick it in the guts, Barry. Yeah? Kick it in the...
Sucks nitro.
Man, I can't say it.
Kick it in the guts, Barry.
up the game on this one, Maxie. It's the Ducks' guts.
Yeah, she's the last of the V8. She sucks nitro.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Now, I must confess that I put that sound grab in last week and it was really low, so people probably couldn't make it out. But this is the Nitro segment, Schepps. This is the start. Who are our Nitro players? The Ducks' guts.
Okay, the Ducks' guts.
The Ducks' guts.
I got Blake Bortles versus Kansas City. I think D.D. Westbrook is emerging. You know, he's still got Keelan Cole, Austin Seferian-Jenkins. T.J. Yeldon's going to be getting the ball out of the backfield because Leonard Fournette is just MIA. What a waste Leonard Fournette is. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I got Blake Bortles versus Kansas City.
Nice. And, you know, I have him as well. I just said in 2 of the last 3 games, he's actually had more than 375 passing yards. And, you know, they're playing the Chiefs. They're going to have to put on points, and the Chiefs can't actually defend anybody. They're 26 versus quarterbacks. So, nice one. Bortles, did you have anyone else?
It's so weird. It's so weird that Kansas City is an offensive team now. You know, like
I know.
The last 10 to 15 years, it's been ground game and defense. And now they're airing it out. They're scoring 40 points a game. And now, on the flip side, it's almost like you can't have a complete team. You know, it's like you got to have one or the other, offense or defense. So now they're airing it out, and they can't stop anybody. So it's like, you know, offense was their down, and now defense is their down. So I don't have anybody else, just Bortles.
Okay,
all right.
G.
Okay, well, I've got an obvious one in Ben Roethlisberger. And look, I'm going to pick on the Falcons pretty much all year with this defense. And just to add to that, we now have Grady Jarrett's not in this week, so
yep.
There goes any. Do we have a chance of winning? Well, yeah, if we can score 50 points, we got a really good chance of winning. But look, they're just. Mate, you can't even bail the water quick enough, can you, at the moment on that defence for the points that are being put up against them? And I'll just give you an example. Since the first game, obviously, against the Eagles, which was just a dire fest for both teams, actually. In week 2, Newton put up 333 3 TDs. Week 3, Breeze put up 396 and 3 TDs. And Dalton last week put up 337 and 3 TDs against this Falcons defense. So, look, I've got down here, you know, when you have Juju, Washington, Vance McDonald, Jesse James, Switzer, and, of course, Brown, mate, Big Ben's probably got the potential to, throw easily 300, maybe 400 yards and 5 TDs.
Right, and their defense also isn't really playing that well, so Atlanta's going to put up their points.
Yeah, so it's just another
they're going to be going back and forth.
Yeah, mate, just more frequent fly points for that pieces of pigskin, which is... Another one I've got is Andy Dalton this week against the Dolphins. Look, the Dolphins have been pretty good, only giving up 12.5 fantasy points standard scoring. And look, they're the number 4 team against quarterbacks. Don't tell me you've got him down there as well, have you?
I've got him in maybe the yang to this ying.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, well, another wager.
Yeah, look,
another Moet wager.
Thank you, Schepps.
Moe.
You're going to be seriously... I'm going to put money on this.
What?
I don't know, mate. I'm going to give you one of those red belly slap things.
What? I beg your pardon. What?
You guys should put a bottle of Moet on this now. Find out if it's a 2-part bet. You're betting on Dalton and you're betting on the bottle of Moet. Boom.
I only bet.
What do I get
if I know I'm right?
What do I get? If you know you're right.
Well, I only bet if I know I'm right.
You get a bottle of Moet.
Yeah, you can get. I'll buy you a bottle.
Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, so I got Andy Dalton up against the Dolphins. So look, the Dolphins gave up against Darnold. They gave up 334 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Carr, they gave up 345, one TD and 2 interceptions as well. And God forbid, I'm not even going to talk about when they played the Tennessee Titans with Mariota getting hurt and Blaine Gabbert. But last week Dalton's been great. You start him over. He's a QB1.
Yeah, he is.
He's shed a skin. I feel like Dalton has shed a skin, and he's emerging and evolving as a player, like to the player we kind of thought he was, and then he let us down. Tyler Boyd, AJ, he's getting it done. He's like a top fantasy quarterback right now, and people, nobody expected that.
And look, they're playing at home, and they've only in all those stats how good he's been this year. He's only played 1 home game. So he's played 3 away games.
Yeah.
And the only home game...
He's the anti-Roethlisberger.
Yes. And the only home game he's played this year was against the Ravens, who's got a very good defense against pretty much everybody at the moment across the board, wide receivers, running backs and quarterbacks. and he threw for 265 yards, 4 TDs.
This one's at home.
And gave you 26 fantasy points. That's what I'm saying. And this one's at home again. And get Mixon back, just add that throw that in the mix.
Maybe he's like the hungry caterpillar. He's turned into a beautiful butterfly.
He has.
Yeah. There we go.
Beautiful butterfly.
I am a beautiful... I can't remember that. Yeah, that's very funny.
The German accent.
That's right. Yeah. No, I've got one to add in as well. I'm going to add in Alex Smith at New Orleans. No, it's not a chorus of agreement.
No, mate. No. I heard Schepps giggle.
I'm interested.
Okay.
I'm interested.
Listen.
Go on.
Sell me.
Okay, I'll sell you. They're going to have to throw the ball to keep up with Drew Brees and the Saints. That much is very true. Alex Smith is throwing almost 70% completion percentage. He's thrown for 767 yards, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick, which I know is kind of low actually, but his quarterback rating is 102.2. He's actually the QB 9. So he's quietly going about business. Mm-hmm. And the Saints are number 30 versus quarterbacks. They're giving up an average of 323 yards and 2.75 touchdowns. So Alex Smith this week, sneaky good start.
He's like Dalton, but last year. Alex Smith showed us he was a butterfly last year, and now we're kind of like, dude, you were a beautiful butterfly last year, and now this year, what's up? Like, he's QB9, but we need that game. We need that game where he's top 5.
He's not a butterfly, he's a moth.
He's not a moth.
He's not as beautiful as a butterfly.
Well, maybe. Let's see. Let's see if he could go on a run, because I've traded for him in a few leagues because I was drinking the Kool-Aid last year. Because he's just a consistent guy. He's not going to he'll give you a QB1 game every now and then, but he's top 10 consistently. So that's in a 2 QB league. That's what you want. You want consistency. He's a great QB2, but it would be a good time for him to give us a top 5 game.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with being a moth. When I was in Spain, I went to a place and they had I don't know,
it's okay
and they had like a motharium, right?
A motharium.
I just made that word up, but it sounds good. And
it's like a mausoleum, dead moths. That's where they keep dead moths.
But there are some alive ones as well. But they told us all about moths. Moths only live for like 4 days. Okay, well this particular moth
sucks,
and it shags its ass off for like 3 of them.
Who wouldn't?
I know, you're right. The last day you die from exhaustion.
Of your life.
Yeah, you're just getting it out.
Man,
that's great.
The sound effects are not necessary. But I imagine they're a little bit different. They're a little more like the moth wings.
All right, let's get this train back on the track. So, running back, Schepps.
Philip Lindsay at the New York Jets.
Oh, he's my boy.
I think, yeah, that's your boy. I was drinking the Kool-Aid as well. So I like the matchup. My buddy convinced me to start him last week in a matchup where I have him and Royce Freeman, and I just kind of felt like maybe after that suspension, things would shift. Not the suspension, but when he got thrown out of the game, I thought maybe that would be the momentum Royce Freeman needed to kind of jump him. But he's still out, basically neck and neck with Royce Freeman. I just feel like he's got a little more burst, so he has more potential for. I'm trying to think of term for this, but just I guess the huge
explosive play.
You know what I mean. So I could see him having that game where he has like a 40-yard touchdown, run, maybe a 20-yard touchdown reception. I think Freeman's more the guy where he's going to pound it. He's going to get that 5-yard touchdown, that 12-yard touchdown. So he could still have a good game, but I think Lindsay could have that breakout monster, 25, 30-point game. And who better to do it against than the New York Jets, especially if they're up and then they got some garbage time. So I got Philip Lindsay at the New York Jets.
Yeah, look, I've got Lindsay down here. Like, I rolled him out last week. I rolled him out again this week. And I sort of equated it to the fact that you have that, that car you just drive every now and then when the sun's, out. And he's a bit like that. I'm rolling him out for the second week in a row. I'm sort of a bit excited about it.
You've got a car like that?
No, I don't have a car like that.
I wish.
Yeah, I'm a painter, mate. I don't have cars like that. But look, like Case Keenum's not getting it done through the air. Look, last week, Lindsay...
Chad Kelly time? Is it Chad Kelly time?
It's not far away, mate. Let me tell you right now, the drums are starting to beat. He outsnapped Freeman and Booker. Booker was second. Like, Lindsay had 24 snaps. Booker had 20. Why the hell are you even giving Booker 20 snaps?
I was getting frustrated. And
Freeman had 16. Yeah. And look, Freeman scored the touchdown last week, but if you go back and have a look at it, mate, there's one tackle in particular. Me and AJ sat down and watched it. Mate, he should never even got close to getting near that touchdown line. It was just a piss poor tackle. When that's your job, you should be making those tackles, but he got it and it all counts. No, I really like Lindsay. And went into last week in one of the leagues that I play in, it was 88. It was like 88.1 to 88.3 against the opposition guy, and he had Freeman and I had Lindsay. So it came down. It was great to watch this, and it was fantastic. In the end, Lindsay got it done with that touchdown.
That was a Bronco off. That was a Bronco off.
It was a Bronco off. So, no, I totally agree with Lindsay.
Hit me with another one.
Aaron Jones at Detroit.
Ooh, yes.
28.2 fantasy points Detroit have given up, and they're ranked 30th against running backs. It's poor in the run game. And look,
the only thing he has to worry about is Mike McCarthy. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all he's got to worry about.
Look, and he did look the more impressive back, didn't he, last week?
Rodgers wants him to get the ball.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I don't need him to protect me. I think our line's good enough to do that. Rodgers still concerns me a little bit. We'll talk about that. But look, with Jones missing the first 3 games, and he's only one behind Jamal Williams already in fantasy scoring.
Incredible. All right, I got 2 to add in, boys. Gio Bernard, Cincy playing Miami, as we've already mentioned. Joe Mixon's back, which is awesome.
Well, it's good for a couple of my dynasty teams.
My word, I got so much Joe Mixon. Now,
I'm kind of worried about him. I know this isn't a Joe Mixon segment, but I want to see him look healthy. So I'm hoping we see him look healthy. But sell me on Gio.
Okay, I'll sell you on Gio. The Dolphins are allowing the 3rd most PPR fantasy points to tailbacks. Add to this, the Fins D has overall been one of the best in the league against the run, and this will be one of the keys to victory. So even though Joe Mixon is back, the fact that this Fins D is actually pretty good is really going to kind of force Gio into the game. I think Gio could be a really nice start. And you're probably starting this guy, but some people have been just quietly over the last couple of weeks a little bit down on him. I'm not sure why. But James Conner, so the Steelers this week playing the Falcons. Now, the Steelers actually, believe it or not, are one of the worst teams in the league running the ball. They're number 29. They've got an average of 72.2 yards per game. But the Falcons are number 28 versus running backs. They've also got the 5th worst total D, giving up over 400 yards per game. For the Steelers to win, and the Steelers D is actually worse than the Falcons D.
Don't read that stat out and smile at me when you say it.
I'm not.
There's a damn good reason why that is, and you know why it is.
Oh, I know.
There's nothing against the. We've always sucked against backs.
No.
More against.
But I think there's
backs.
2 good reasons. One's an enforcing safety, and one's a speed linebacker.
Pro Bowl guys. But listen, you didn't hear what I said next. I said the Steelers D's worse than the Falcons D. Right?
There you go. That's your consolation prize.
That's the consolation prize. Now, the Steelers are going to need to control the clock to keep the Falcons' offense off the field. And for that reason, James Conner is going to get tons of opportunity, and he should be able to do pretty well with the opportunity he gets. So, there you go. Did you choke on your
too many bubbles
on your moe?
I need to get all my James Conner points I can until Le'Veon comes back.
I know. Yeah.
All right.
My teams are suffering because of that. Look, and I've got another one. I've got TJ Yeldon against the Chiefs, who've given up 30.1. The 31st ranked against RBs in fantasy football at the moment. And look, he sits number 12 amongst running backs in standard scoring with 49 fantasy points. And he had a great stat line last week of 52 1 TD, 48 reception yards, and 1 TD as well. No Fournette for 2, who knows? Who knows, mate? Hamstrings, I'm not a big fan of hamstrings. You need them because they help.
You need them.
But when they start pinging, soft tissue injuries are hard. They linger.
Man, and who knows with him? He's just sitting out until the playoffs.
They linger like an ex-girlfriend.
Soft tissue injuries are hard, you said. But they're soft, aren't they? Ooh.
Here we go. This is the hardcore analysis that you come to us for.
No, you're right. And the worst thing with soft tissue injuries is they're pervasive. Like you think a guy thinks he's over it, he comes back and ping, he's back out for a couple of weeks.
Look at Sean Lee. Sean Lee he's a walking soft tissue injury.
He is. Wide receiver, Schepps. Hit us with hit us in the
Golden
Ducks'
Tate.
guts.
Golden Tate, man. Versus the Green Bay Packers, I'm riding the Golden Tate train. He's like just boom, 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 getting it done every single week. I think you could pencil him in as a wide receiver 2, even a wide receiver 1, and you're going to be happy. He's going to put up numbers, and this is a week to do it against Green Bay. It's a big game. Matthew Stafford hasn't really put up the numbers he should be. He's got to jump up the charts. So Golden Tate versus Green Bay Packers, start him. Feel comfortable doing it, especially in PPR.
Oh, I've got his teammate. I've got Kenny Golladay. I'm on the Golladay wagon. What?
Starting boss. That's a nice wagon horde you got there.
Hey, I'm all over it, mate. Well, like plenty of practice from my football team here last year. Don't you worry. Look, I got Green Bay. They're giving up 23.3 fantasy points to wide receivers, and Golladay in scores this year in PPR, he's had 18.4, 20.9, 17.3, and his lower week last week was 11.4, totaling 300 yards, 2 TDs, and corner Kevin Green's missed the last 2 weeks, and I don't know if he's going this week, so that could very well help Kenny Golladay out if he doesn't front up for a 3rd game in a row. And Matt Stafford's last 5 games against the Packers, averaging 327 yards and throwing 12 TDs in there.
Very good.
And it's in Detroit.
I think that matters too.
I mean, obviously you went Tate, Schepps, you went Galladay, and I've got I haven't.
No.
I've got Jamison Crowder. So
I was going to say you better put Crowder in there after you talked up Alex Smith, because he's just going to it's going to be the old slice and dice.
It is. Crowder showed some signs of life last week, which is great. 4 for 39 and a TD in a win over the Packers. And following up what I said about Alex Smith, there's no way the Redskins have a chance of hanging in the Superdome unless they actually get Crowder involved in that passing game. So Crowder is going to get quite a bit of action, probably especially PPR, but anyway.
Okay, I've got Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not going to go the Brown against the Falcons. Go Juju. So far this year he's put up 119, 121, 116 and 60 last week, but that's okay. That's fine. You're allowed to have 1 week under 100 yards.
I'm glad you're bringing it, like going hard for those really hard to find prospects.
What?
Juju. People might not know who Juju is.
Move on.
Now he's getting.
Oh, mate!
Shirty.
1 week did I bring out someone who's actually, might be on a board somewhere up near the top, and you shoot me down.
One of the best receivers in the league.
Mate, that's pathetic.
If you don't have him, you don't have him.
That's pathetic.
There's no way you're getting him.
Do that to me after the crack. What did he bring 2 weeks ago? What did you bring? Kelvin Benjamin. And you having a go at me about Juju Smith?
I was probably right, I dare say. So anyway,
it's hard not to be wrong with that.
Schepps, show us your tight end.
Jordan Reed. So you got Alex Smith. I got Jordan Reed. We got Jamison Crowder. So now I think we got everybody who matters in that Washington offense, not named Chris Thompson. So Jordan Reed, I think it's a game where they're going to have to put up points, and he's probably their best weapon. Not named Chris Thompson, because I think Chris Thompson's a dude.
Oh yeah.
But he's got to answer the bell. It's the game's on. It's time for him to score some points.
Is that all right? The Schepps bring up Jordan Reed. There's people heard of Jordan Reed.
Yeah. Are you going to put Gronkowski on there?
No. Travis Kelce.
Hopefully he didn't put Gronkowski on there because he didn't do too good last time.
He did okay.
He's not having the greatest of years.
No.
Oh, that interception. Good thing they didn't lose because that was all him.
Yeah, he's not repaying the draft capital that people have invested in him.
Isn't it weird though how he gets a fumble against him, yet a ball goes through Hogan's hands and gets intercepted, and nothing goes against him? Yeah,
that is kind of. There should be a stat for wide receivers that happens to for sure.
Fair call.
Oh, okay, now my stand on and tight ends has and always will be, if you have one, you start it. Because,
got a healthy one.
Oh, well, and we lost Eifert last week, didn't we?
Yes.
So, whether or not you want to go out and get CJ...
Eifert is Sean Lee, but on offense.
Oh, mate, that a little bit different. Mate, that injury what ended up having?
Ankle.
That looked terrible.
Bad.
That looked really bad.
I'm not talking about
You mean just
I'm talking about
how
often they're injured.
Yeah,
they're both guys that you need out there when you have them, and they both just let you down.
Yeah, no, granted, that's true. Now, so I sort of looked at, if you're playing in a 14-team league, as you know, there's leagues that are bigger, but there's teams that are smaller, leagues that are smaller, obviously, with 10, 12 and whatnot. But if, say a 14-team league, so you can go quite deep. So during your draft, everybody goes and grabs a tight end, and you know, most people probably went and grabbed maybe 2, and some prick probably grabbed 3. So I was looking at, okay, who's below 14? The guys that are below 14. So we have Jordan Reed at New Orleans, and they're giving up 4.3. Ricky Seals-Jones at San Francisco, they're giving up 11.4. Jeff Swain, I don't know where the hell he plays. I don't know. He's at number 22 at the moment, tight end. So he's up against Houston this week. They give up 10.3. Benny Watson, number 23, they're at Washington. They give up 5.6. Dallas Goedert, Minnesota, 7.6. Rhett Ellison, Carolina, 10.5. Max Williams is number 30, and his teammate at 33, Nick the Lance Boyle.
the Lance.
Nick. They're both at Cleveland. They're giving up 8.7. If you can pick which one's going to get the most out of those two, good luck to you.
Ricky Seals-Jones. Let's throw a dart at him.
Ricky Seals-Jones. You've got Jeff Hyman at the New York Jets this week. Hyman? Hey, Herman? How do you pronounce it?
No, I just
not Hyman. Hyman. Moe.
Yeah, come on,
it's
dude.
Moe.
Out of the gutter, Schepps. And just a bit of a smoky at number 29, Demetrius Harris. He got 59 yards last week against the Broncos, and there was on a couple of occasions he was the guy that Paddy went to, and he looked good. He found open space.
He's a big boy.
He's huge, dude.
Okay,
It wasn't the crowd making that camera bounce up and down, mate.
No. And just quietly, Schepps, I don't know if you know any commissioners who have leagues where they force you to start 2 tight ends. That's just...
Man, I feel like I got to put that up for vote next season. I think we got to adjust it. It was a bad call.
Sure, if you got George Kittle.
Well, sure. Now, the guy I've put in here is Ricky Seals-Jones. Now, he's let me down many times.
Yes,
but
me too. I was on the train.
You just roll the dice at this point, and you put him in. Now, he has managed 88 receiving yards over the past 2 weeks, though only on 3 receptions. So this is not a very good sell, I admit. The Niners have given up a touchdown in every game to a tight end, believe it or not. They're also number 28 in the league versus tight ends, but as G has outlined, there's not a whole lot of points sort of in the league total for tight ends.
No.
So it's all over the joint. Guys, it's time for this.
Yeah, mule! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Whoa, camel! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, camel! Whoa! Oh, come on, whoa! When I say whoa, I mean whoa!
Schepps, who do you have as your woe camel quarterback?
Carson Wentz. I got Wentz versus Minnesota. Minnesota's defense, if I'm them, I'm pissed off because they are much better than they've been playing. So it's time to get the job done, and I think it's going to happen against Carson Wentz this week. They're gonna shut him down.
Nice. G.
I got Baker Mayfield, for all those lovers of Baker Mayfield, up against the Ravens this week, only giving it 12.4 fantasy points. And, Matt, this Ravens D is a serious unit at the moment. We saw what Mayfield done in his first start. Jeez, God. Mate, I went to the same college you went in Florida, Schepps. Grammar's great. Mayfield against Oakland last week, and what was the stat that Randers gave us? That out of 10 first-round rookie quarterbacks, the 10 and zip and 10 for starts. So that's now zip and 11 because Baker Mayfield lost his first actual start
For the Browns?
For the Browns, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if it's for the Browns. I think it's just across the board. I think Randers was talking. But, you know, he looked okay. He looked 295, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. Only gave you almost 13 fantasy points. And look, the Raiders, middle of the pack defense-wise against QBs.
Not bad.
No, they're not too bad.
No.
They're okay.
Yeah.
They're okay. Outside of what I said about Dalton monstering against the Ravens in week 1, the Ravens have stopped Josh Allen, which is no hard deal at the moment, with 74 yards. Case Keenum with 192, 1 interception. And they kept Ben Roethlisberger to 274, 1 TD and an INT.
Okay, I'm going to add in Andy Dalton.
All right.
You just added that because we're having the Moet controversy. Go.
No controversy.
It's wager too. Ooh, it's no controversy. That's a dig.
It is.
Now, let me tell you.
Taunting.
Let me tell you about the Red Rocket. So, the Dolphins are the number 3 team versus quarterbacks. They're giving up an average of 293 yards and 1.25 touchdowns per game. So, it's a tough day for quarterbacks against that Miami D. However, they are actually one of the worst versus running backs, and I've already sort of touched on that a little bit. But they're number 29 versus running backs. So the key, and we know Marvin Lewis is one of the best coaches in the entire league. The key will be the run. So the Bengals, they're going to go Geo, and they're going to go Mixon, and they're going to run their way to victory. Running back, Schepps, who are you sitting this week?
I'm going back to Cleveland. I got Carlos Hyde versus Baltimore. I think they're going to challenge Baker Mayfield. I don't think they believe that he could. He's got a good arm. I think they're going to take away his running and force him to throw the ball, and then I think there's going to be some mistakes made that way. So, I don't really think Carlos Hyde's been having a season. I own him, and I don't think his points are really. He's had some games where he was a starter, but just watching him play, nothing he's done has been overly exciting or overly impressive. And this is a very good defense with C.J. Mosley, the emergence of Kenny Young. It's going to be a tough week for him, and I think Nick Chubb's time is coming. Man, he had 2 huge touchdowns last week. He runs for 105 yards. So Nick Chubb is right around the corner. So I think Carlos Hyde's going to start to fade, and this week is going to make one of Carlos Hyde just not doing too well and passing it off to Chubb.
Gee, mate, I lose concentration for 5 seconds. You jump off quarterbacks to running. I haven't even put my second quarterback in.
Oh, really?
Mate, and you want controversy. You want big names. I won't go into Aaron Rodgers. There we go. Bang. Done.
Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
Against the Lions.
Oh, okay.
I won't tell you why. You've moved on already. You've moved on. So we want running backs now.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Give us a running back.
Okay, running back. Dalvin Cook at Philly. Mate, they're stopping everybody. They're only giving up 9.7. They're at number 2 against the run. He's not... Unfortunately, he's not the guy. We've got a segment coming up soon, and he could actually be in this segment. He's not the guy that people are getting the value back on a late first,
yet
early second.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a believer.
Look, his hammy's
a believer.
Yeah, he is. Look, his hammy's still not 100%, and he even self-admitted that. He'd probably be on a pitch count again this weekend. He's had a total of 18.5 fantasy points in the 3 games that he's played. Last week he was only out there for 20 snaps, 10 carries for 20 yards. And look, no running back has had more than 36 rushing yards against Philly so far this year. So, Dalvin Cook. I've
got Dalvin Cook as well. And you pretty much said all the stats that I had here. I also just said the Eagles are the second best team against the run. But
they are. I think I mentioned that, didn't I?
You probably did mention it. And he's on a snap count, as you said.
You didn't listen to his quarterback segment. He didn't listen to your running back segment.
No. He only had 10 carries last week.
Now you guys are even.
We're even.
Yeah, we're even.
You got somebody else?
No, that's it.
I've got Kenyon Drake against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Even though they're giving up 27.3 yards to running backs, which you'd see that and go, yeah, I'll take a little piece of that. But Kenyon Drake, actually the whole backfield in Miami is just...
Gore's out snapping him.
Mate, it's an absolute shitstorm.
It is.
Isn't it, at the moment?
Yep.
Mate, he looks like a bust. For where you would have taken Kenyon Drake, without a doubt. And look, things get worse for them. They've already lost Daniel Kilgore. They've lost Daniel Kilgore, the centre, this week to the injury list, which already has lost Josh Sitton to IR. You get back Vontaze Burfict in Cincinnati after his 4-game suspension, so he'd be looking to maybe play 1 game and miss another 4. He won't mind. That's just the way he plays.
He's a beast.
He just lives on the edge, doesn't he? Seriously.
Yeah.
All facts about football. So there we go. And to me, Tannehill's the new Stafford.
Huh.
No run game. Has to air it out.
Okay.
And that's what it is in Miami at the moment. So,
alrighty.
Go.
Let's go to wide receiver, Schepps. Who are you sitting?
I got Enunwa versus Denver. I think you don't start him this week. If you got him, you obviously have somebody else that you could start over him.
Oh, did you hear that, Shepsy?
What was that?
What was that?
Ready? Listen. Moet. Did you hear that? Did you hear her say Moe? That was the
Moe?
She said Moet.
No, but she was French.
Oh,
That's
Did you say? Did
that's
you
how you say it in
sit-
French. So
Did she say sit Enunwa? Because I think Denver. I think their defense is. I think they're better than people think. People were talking about this being a game this week, and I know Keenum hasn't looked good, but that defense has pedigree, man. You know, they still got Chris Harris, even though Talib is gone. You got Von Miller. You got Bradley Chubb. Josie Jewell, I think he's going to start to take a step. And I think that defense has pedigree. I don't think you can sleep on them. And, you know, I think they're going to shut down Darnold easily. And I think Enunwa is Darnold's number one target, and he's going to get shut down. That's it, you know, point blank. So don't start Enunwa. Sit him.
G.
Demaryius Thomas. We sat down and watched the game last week. We couldn't just shadow a very...
Sutton and Hamilton need to get more action. They need to.
I have been saying for a couple of weeks now on this pod, I would have said it when you were on last, Schepps, and I said it again last week, it's not long before Sutton takes that position, if not already taken it, as the other guy outside of Emmanuel Sanders. And let's face it, he's pretty much at the moment the only guy that you'd start.
Sanders, yes.
Yes, in that offense at wide receiver. In the past 3 weeks, Thomas has put up 18, 63 and 24 yards. He's ranked number 45 in PPR and 51 in standard at the moment. Yeah, I just can't start him against the Jets this week. And I also have Tyler Lockett against the Rams this week. Now, Tyler Lockett has posted 60 and a touchdown, 77 and a touchdown and 53 yards in the last... and week 1, 59 and 1 touchdown. So he's had one every week.
Not bad,
up until last week. But this week he'll probably see a dude, his last name's named after that ice cream that used to be here. Peters Ice Cream, remember them? Marcus Peters? I'm trying too hard now.
I don't remember Marcus Peters ice cream.
Marcus Peters here, probably lined up against him this week, so that's not someone you want to look at. Plus, with just coincidentally, that the week that Baldwin came back was the worst week that Tyler Lockett has had so far this year. So.
You know the worst thing about Marcus Peters ice cream? It just stuck all over me.
Oh, boy.
God. Mine was bad. That's just adding to it.
Oh, come on. I had to come up with that at fairly short notice. So,
Russell
Baldwin's
Wilson
back.
has been... I didn't put him on my disappoint list, but he's been disappointing.
Someone might have Schepps.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. I've got Geronimo Allison. Or you could easily put Randall Cobb in there. He's even more disappointing. But the Lions have got the number 2 best D versus wide receivers. Add into that Aaron Rodgers is still a bit gimpy. Oh, look, he's getting better. But it does make Geronimo a risky option this week.
Really going out there, are you?
Well, the Geronimo is better than Marcus Peters ice cream. But still...
You're out in the same limb with Juju Smith-Schuster with me.
With who? Sorry?
Juju Smith-Schuster. This champagne's starting to take effect. It's starting to work.
Go on.
The bubbles are getting to me.
Drink a bottle of Moet and say Juju Smith-Schuster. So, hey, Schepps, tight end. Who are you sitting?
Njoku. So we're sticking to the Cleveland theme.
Schepps has just moved out in that limb with Juju and bloody Geronimo.
You know, I mean, I'm hoping. I got Njoku in a league that Evan Ingram is dinged up, and I thought with Mayfield's first action, he kind of zipped the ball right down the seam. He wasn't afraid to do that. So you see what he did with Mark Andrews in Oklahoma. So I was expecting Njoku to take that step, and he really hasn't. I'm hoping it's going to happen, but this isn't the week with Eric Weddle and Tony Jefferson. They're both very capable of shutting him down, one-on-one. I don't care how physical of a specimen Njoku is. So this isn't the week. Don't hope for a Njoku breakout because it's not going to happen. And like G said, if he's all you got, you're starting him. But if you have another option, sit him.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I know. I put Njoku as well, actually. He's a special athlete, and having Mayfield under centre only makes his prospects better, but this just isn't the week. The Ravens are the number 4 team versus the tight end position. They're giving up an average of 11 yards to tight ends, and they haven't conceded a touchdown yet. So, yeah, not the week for Njoku.
An average of 11 yards?
Yes! How do you like that? Gee,
wow.
Any tight ends you wanted to chuck in there? I mean, most of them, to be honest.
I gave you my whole tight end at the start.
Fair enough. Now, gents, We're going to slot in a special segment.
Oh, are we doing it now?
Yes. We're going to
We're going to do our other segments first.
No. We're going to slot in a special segment.
You sure?
Yes. So we're going to slot in a special segment because we are quarter of the way through the season. Now, listen, we don't really like to...
special.
It is a Schepps special. We don't necessarily like to... you've got to live in the moment. Don't spend too much time looking back, oh dear, we're quarter of the way through the season. But having said that, there are things that have certainly... Yes, that as well. There's things that certainly have surprised the Marcus Peters out of us. So, Schepps...
What?
I have no idea either. And I'm sitting in the same room as him. I don't know what he's talking about.
All right, so where are we going with that?
Schepps, who surprised you or what surprised you quarter down?
Surprise!
All right, so my number one on the surprised me list is, let's just say the Ravens wide receiver quarterback combination: Joe Flacco, John Brown, Willie Snead, and Michael Crabtree. Now, before the season, I made a bold prediction that John Brown was going to outscore T.Y. Hilton, but I feel like there was just some buzz around John Brown. He was a buzzword, and I also felt like T.Y. Hilton was falling off, even with Andrew Luck back. So I didn't feel like that was too far of a reach, but I did feel like it was a reach. I wasn't very confident in it. I just, I felt like it was time for a bold prediction, and that was something that could happen, but I didn't expect it to happen. So, but he's balling. Snead is doing well. Snead is doing, wide receiver 2 things, and not PPR format in an NFL. Like, Snead is doing what you would want from your wide receiver 2. And then you got Crabtree, who's also getting it done. And Joe Flacco, but he's still, I don't know, he makes plays. And he's very good at those sideline, back of the end zone, like all that stuff, clutch stuff, like first down things or third you need touchdown things. So Crabtree's getting it done. And Flacco is he's this year's Alex Smith. Alex Smith last year with Mahomes. Mahomes was pushing him, but I believe Mahomes is more of a threat than Lamar Jackson is to Flacco. But I still feel like that kind of gave him a push to have a better offseason. And Joe Flacco he's startable, especially in 1 QB leagues where last year you could not start. You didn't start Joe Flacco at all last year. And this year he's a consistent guy. So he's one. Should I just go through my list, or you guys want to go back and forth?
No, you go.
All right. So number 2 is Philip Lindsay. I know we listed him in start, but he's a guy that I had, because we had talked about him. So I had him in most of my leagues just because, there was some buzz about him this offseason as well, but he still surprised me because he's getting it done. You look at his size, he shouldn't be, but he is. He's explosive. The guy's getting it done. And then number 3, this is a Cowboys thing, Leighton Vander Esch. I was so against Leighton Vander Esch going into the draft. I did not want this cat, from Boise, who he looked long, and I heard the Urlacher comparisons, and I wasn't buying it. And I guess I didn't trust the Cowboys to pick the right guy defensively, because they do a decent job picking offensive linemen, but most of their defensive picks just hasn't panned out. But Byron Jones, he's a guy who didn't pan out, but this year he looks good. So Vander Esch, 2 games ago, he got about 28 snaps. It was his first, so it was game 2. He had 28 snaps. In those 28 snaps, he had 7 solo tackles. So a quarter of the snaps he was out there, he had 7 solo tackles. That's pretty impressive. Every week I've seen him take a step. This was like the first time we've won a game without Sean Lee last week in forever. And he's kind of made Sean Lee replaceable, but he's just as good. I thought he was a better guy in the zone coverage than actually tackling, pursuing and tackling. But he's just as good, if not better, pursuing and tackling. So I was wrong. I was very wrong about Leighton Vander Esch, and I'm willing to accept that and announce that. So those are the 3 guys that surprised me.
Takes a big man to admit when he's wrong, Schepps. And you should admit it a bit more to me, but that's okay. That's something else. We'll talk about that off air. I'm going to go from 3 to 1. My number 3 is George Kittle. I think everybody, he did have a bit of buzz before the start of the season, but I think there was a lot of people still apprehensive about, is it just buzz? Because I think a lot of people still look back to when he was at Iowa and sort of saw past the stuff that he was doing there, and how he pretty much, him and CJ Beathard pretty much carried that offense for the final year there. And look, at the moment, he's number 3 in tight ends in stat and scoring, and he's 4 in PPR. 3 out of 4 games this year, he's had 79-plus yards. He's had a 90, a 22, a 79, and last week he had an absolute cracker when the team really needed him the most with no Jimmy G, 125 yards in the TD. And I think right now there's a lot of teams in the NFL thinking that he went in the 5th round, pick 146. Maybe we overlooked someone that we should have probably picked up. At number 2, I'm going to be a homer here as well, Schepps. And mate, how can you not put Calvin Ridley in there at the moment? He leads wide receivers in standard scoring with 63.7, number 10 in PPR. We saw what happened in week 1. I don't think that they actually knew that they had a first-round pick where he scored an absolute nothing, a zip. And since then, week 2, 64, 1 TD. Week 3, 146, 3 TDs. And last week just keeps backing it up, 54 yards and 2 TDs. He was, and we've always said this, he was the most complete wide receiver coming out in this year's draft. And I know a lot of people said that about Amari Cooper, didn't they, when he came out? But I don't think he's going to go down the same road as Amari Cooper. Sorry, AJ. Look out of the side of your eyes at me, boy. I'll tell you right now. It'd be like my father reaching across the back of the car, mate, when you're on the drive. I tell you. Yeah. We shouldn't advocate violence,
No,
but
never.
But it does work. And number one, you would have seen the tweet I put out this week. Oh, not a tweet, but onto our group chat that we have, Schepps. Paddy Mahomes is wearing the big G on his jersey this week. Mate, how can you not be impressed with what he has done? Even with the buzz that he has, what he has done so far has been incredible. 115.3 fantasy points. Mate, he's just rocking the world. 256 week 1, 4 TDs, 326, 6 TDs against San Francisco, 314, 3 TDs against Pitt. And to me, the best game that he's played this year was definitely last week. He only threw for 304, 1 TD, rushed one in. He's had no interceptions all year, but it's the fact that he was facing adversity. The first time they haven't jumped at and absolutely been like 45 points ahead at the end of the first quarter. A little exaggeration, but he rallied the team 10 points down in the last quarter, looked composed and just led the charge. It was incredible. The throw that he threw to Travis Kelce, where he was running to his left and threw it across his body to his right, is just incredible. Not only from the fact that the strength it takes to do that, but when you throw across your body, you probably know this, Schepps, being the high school and champion that you were, that when you throw across your body and moving in the opposite direction which the ball still moves in the direction that your body is travelling.
Yes, it does.
It just does that.
Yeah, of course.
So to throw to a moving target while you're moving away, throwing across your body, and mate, it wasn't like Kelce had to reach. Mate, that hit him like perfect.
Yeah.
On the move. He didn't have to break stride. That was a magnificent throw. And look, the ball he put in against the 49ers where he broke left, came back round and threw that absolute tracer to Connolly in the corner of the end zone was just perfection. Mate, he's just been everything he has. And look, I'm not going to look. He's setting some massive stats and he's broken a few records, but it's great. But a lot of people are saying there's a lot of stuff going on. Could this be the start of one of the best
new era?
Yeah, new era. One of the greatest quarterbacks we're going to blah 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 blah. Mate, he's played 4 games, and to me, the thing that makes you great and will always make you great is the longevity of being a great player, of being a good to great player, and he's far from that. But at the moment, man, just sit back and soak up possibly the beginning of seeing one of the great quarterbacks.
This week is going to be a huge challenge for him. So I mean,
and look, there's going to be failures too along the way.
But if he balls this week, you need to pop some more champagne because that would be impressive. This is a challenge. This is probably his first big challenge. Let's see how the kid responds. You saw. I don't know if you saw Jalen Ramsey calling out Tyreek Hill, saying he's not a wide receiver. Because he's gone to the Pro Bowl as a return specialist. So I think that they might be a little salty about that, and there might be some balls thrown where they would rather just pound it. They might take some shots. So it could be a big win for this kid if he could do it against this Jacksonville defense.
Nice. Okay. Now, I do share one with your Schepps because I actually said the Ravens wide receivers, in particular John Brown, who's got 338 yards and 3 touchdowns on the season. So big surprise there.
The big surprise is the fact that he's actually played every game.
Yeah. Let's not jinx it. Not jinx it.
Well, I don't have him on any of my team, so I'm happy to jinx it.
Fair enough. Now, a favourite of the Aussie Guys NFL podcast, and all Detroit Lions fans, Eric Ebron. 255 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's only had one game without a touchdown. Now, granted, Jack Doyle's out at the moment, but
2 today.
2 today. No, well, 2 last night, Thursday night football.
Last night.
Yeah.
If you watch that game, it looks like Andrew Luck put so much zip on the ball that he's got no choice but to catch it. Like, it looks like, do you know what I mean? If you, it's hard to get more in depth about that term, but that saying. But when I watch it, that's just what it looks like. Like, it looks like he's got to catch it. Like,
he dropped an absolute sitter today, didn't he? An absolute sitter. And I saw someone put it on Twitter, like, you can take Ebron out of Detroit, but you can't take Ebron out of Ebron. Mate, you give me 100 plus yards and 2 TDs, mate, you can drop 5 balls. I don't give a shit. You give me those stats, I don't care. Mate, as a fantasy guy, you give me that every week. You can drop as many as you want. I don't care.
And to be fair, well, actually, not to be fair, to be unfair to Ebron, it's not really the drop balls, it's the lack of Duck's guts. You know, he goes down so fast, doesn't he, G?
Yeah, he's a little bit soft.
He's soft. So
for a guy his size, he does go down a little bit.
It's more that. And my one that I put down, the LA wide receivers. This is, so I just took it. This
LA? Which LA team?
The Rams, obviously.
Okay.
Well,
I got no idea.
0.5 PPR, you have Cooper Kupp at number 4, Brandon Cooks at number 11, and Robert Woods at number 14. So all 3 of them almost wide receiver ones.
how about Cooper Kupp, huh?
Oh, Cooper Kupp. He is fantastic.
I'm loving my bubbles.
Bit too much. All 3 of those guys are startable every single week.
Drink responsibility. No, responsibility.
Oh, my gosh.
Drink responsible.
Oh, my gosh.
Aren't they, Schepps? We'll just keep going.
Yes, I think they are. And Brandon Cooks, he might be, people didn't know what he was going to be in the offense, if he was just going to be a gimmick guy, and they're showing a commitment to him. So I think most owners who have him or held on to him probably didn't feel safe starting him on a week-to-week basis because they didn't know which week was going to be the stud week and which was going to be the dud week. And I think he's proven that, at least to this point, that you could start him every week and be confident that he's going to give you something.
Wait a minute. This isn't my world. Disappointed!
My first disappointment is like 2 second-year running backs, Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette. Dalvin Cook looks like the type of guy who needs space. He doesn't create space. He needs space to be explosive because he's got great start-stop speed. Once he has a big hole, boom, he's gone. But I just haven't seen him create enough. Leonard Fournette, I don't know if he's actually injured or the dude just doesn't have any guts, like you're saying. So that's my first disappointment. My second disappointment is a cluster of rookie wide receivers who I heard a lot of buzz about, and I was expecting them to kind of ball, especially Anthony Miller. I thought Anthony Miller was going to break out right away. So he's been a disappointment. Obviously, Dante Pettis, I thought he was going to break out. And then Deshaun Hamilton. 3 guys that there was so much buzz about this offseason that it just seemed like they were going to slot in as at least wide receiver 2s in their offense, and they were going to ball and surprise most people. So I've been disappointed. And then my number 3 is 2 guys that I have on a lot of my rosters, and that's Keelan Cole and Jordan Howard. I kind of got them in at least half of my fantasy football leagues. And Keelan Cole, the opportunity's been there, and Dede Westbrook has seized it. I've been one of the bigger Keelan Cole advocates out there, and he's disappointed me because Westbrook has kind of taken the reins there. And then Jordan Howard, man, I got him everywhere.
I picked him up in a couple of leagues because of you, Schepps.
I've been drinking the Kool-Aid, and I don't know if it's Nagy in that offense, but man, Jordan Howard, he's probably my biggest disappointment. So that's I got clusters. So I don't know if I broke the rules there, but that's how I did it. Let me hear what you guys think.
No, I agree with Howard because I listened to you. So, not only is he a disappointment, me listening to you is a disappointment.
Oh, boy.
Look, I've got...
And I'm not drinking any bubbly when I'm making my cluster.
No. I got Kenyon Drake. Absolute. Ranked number 42 amongst RBs, and his ADP going to this year was number 17 for running backs. He has a total of 22.2 fantasy points this year. Yep. Absolute disaster. 6.6
Get
week
out while
one.
you can.
Yeah,
trade him while people in your league think he can still be a RB1.
Yeah.
Get out now.
Mate, he's given the last 2 weeks. He's given you 1 fantasy point and 1.6. And I think last week was a pretty much, it sums up his year to date. He had 4 touches for 16 yards and only 46% snap share. Yeah, goodbye, Kenyon Drake. Another one, Allen Robinson. His ADP at the start of the season was, standard was 23, PPR was 22. Last week, okay, granted he saw 4 targets and 3 of them were red zone targets, but came away with 2 catches, 23 yards and 1 TD. But on the season, he has 3 for 50, 10 for 83, and 4 for 61. And for someone who's meant to be like the focal point of the offense, I don't think he's really lived up to his... And these are all based on where guys were taking an ADP, obviously. He hasn't lived up to that at all. I don't think so at the moment. But then again, that I might be a little bit biased because I've never been an Allen Robinson fan. And number 1, I have Russell Wilson. He is 20th amongst quarterbacks. His ADP was number 4. So people that invested highly in him are not getting nowhere near getting the returns that they would have expected. He has 888 yards, 7 TDs, 3 interceptions, and has only given you 59.72 fantasy points. Granted that he's got a lack of wide receivers. Maybe that might improve now with Baldwin, but it's not just that. His A-line looks better, but then again, he got sacked 6 times in the first game and 6 times in the second, only twice in the last 2 games. But it's the fact that when he gets outside the pocket, which is what he's known for, he just doesn't look like Russell Wilson.
That picture your son's drawing of the Super Saiyan.
Yep.
So Super Saiyans, you just see like the buzz around them. You see the electricity when they're going Super Saiyan. And I feel like Russell Wilson, you just saw that electricity, and it doesn't seem like it's there.
No.
You look at him and he looks basic.
Yeah.
You know?
You expecting something to happen. Something's going to happen, and nothing does. And look, and this year to date, he only has 42 rushing yards. So at this rate, he'll end the season with 168 yards and no TDs. Last season, he ran for 586 and 3 TDs. So that's a big loss on his fantasy points.
While I agree with you, give him a chance. He's
he's
a second half guy.
Mate, he is. He most definitely is. You're correct on that.
I do agree with you though. But yeah, anyway, he'll come good.
All
I'm
based
hoping.
on ADP.
I'm hoping.
Okay.
That
All
might
right.
be.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's move it. Schepps,
Now,
gotta go quickly.
the game we like to play is the early waiver wire.
Future
because
waiver.
Yeah.
Future waivers. We
Get
want
it
to
right.
get ahead of the waiver wire, and that way you don't have to spend the dollars. It's clever,
Because
isn't
I've
it?
run out of a lot of dollars.
Well, yes, all of us probably have. Sheps, you have to go soon, I know. Give us your future waiver wire gems, diamonds in the rough.
I got one. Jordan Akins. It's hard, especially in Dynasty, to have future waiver wire because it's mostly redraft. But this guy isn't a redraft guy. He's Dynasty. He probably should be owned in most Dynasty formats, but he's probably on taxi squad. So if you can trade for him and you need a tight end, his targets are going up week after week after week. Deshaun Watson is starting to get better. He's starting to get his feet under him, and he's starting to target this cat. And Will Fuller also, he's a guy like Leonard Fournette. He's a soft tissue guy who he's going to miss time. So when he's on the field, Will Fuller's killing it. But when he's off the field, they're going to need somebody else besides DeAndre Hopkins. And I know Kiki Kuti is a cute name right now, so he might step up. But I got Jordan Akins. That's my future waiver wire.
Nice.
Someone in this sitting on one of these couches, he did bring that up in the when we did tight ends. Someone to keep an eye on. But okay, future waiver wire. I have. So I base, as I say every week, I base ours on our 14-team league and who's available on the waiver wire after all the waivers have gone through the week. And I got Joe Flacco, who still sits on our waiver wire now.
Wow.
Joe Flacco. This is the teams to play. He's got to play Cleveland, Tennessee, New Orleans, Carolina, Pitt, Cincinnati, Oakland. Now, okay, 3 20-plus teams, 27-9 New Orleans, Pitt at 27.8, Cincinnati at 24.1 against quarterbacks. Now, the most intriguing thing of this is the championship weeks. He plays Atlanta, giving up 25.2. KC giving up 24.5, and Tampa Bay giving up 28.6 to quarterbacks in your championship weeks in your fantasy leagues. And if you're stupid enough to go into the final week, week 17, they play the Chargers, who are giving up 21.8. So all of them 20-plus teams giving up to quarterbacks. Joe Flacco sitting out there, mate. If you playing, like most leagues, you start one quarterback, just in your standard league, just go and stick him on your bench because he could come in very handy in your championship week if you're good enough to make it.
With a head of steam. All right. Look, I really struggled to find someone this week, I must confess, and the guy I've got may or may not be available, but I put Kalen Balaj.
Oh, I was...
You were... You were... You were what?
I was going to put him in there too, but we only got one. I took Joe Flacco.
Fair enough.
But, mate, he has to eventually... Mate, after what we just shit-canned bloody Kenyon Drake and Frank Gore and what's going on there.
So Drake was limited to 4 touches.
Let me check real quick on SFV8 if this guy's available because I might listen to you here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Drake was listed to 4 touches for 16 yards on a 46% snap share. Gore picked up 57 yards and a score from 13 touches on a 51% snap share. And Drake is averaging just 8.3 carries and 2.5 catches per game.
And Gore
which
just
is terrible.
Gore just... This is probably the worst I think we've seen him look.
Yep.
He's old.
He made the cliff. The cliff's here. Eventually, it's here. It's got here.
It's the GMs and coaches who are giving this guy a chance. It's their fault. He's going to get paid. He's going to show up, but he's old. Come on, give us something else.
All right, now, boys, time to shoot for the stars.
Hey, you guys care if I do my wing and a prayer? And
that's what we're doing.
Looking forward to and head out.
That's what I meant actually. Wing and a prayer.
Yeah.
Shoot for the stars. It's kind of the same. I just rebranded it. I'm sorry.
No.
Don't rebrand stuff I make up.
Is it all right if I give you both my next 2 segments and then get out of here? I got
next 2 segments.
We've only got one to go.
Yeah. Don't we have looking forward to?
I forgot that.
We'll skip that because we had the other one. We had the Schepps special.
Yes.
So give us the wing and the prayer. Go.
Well, I got Red Ellison at Carolina with Evan Ingram down, and we're talking about tight ends. He's a guy who I'm going to start in one league that I traded. I traded for Cameron Brate. I traded Keelan Cole for Cameron Brate with O.J. Howard down, with Trey Burton on bye. I hadn't had my coffee yet. So I make a move in the morning. I'm like, he's going to accept this because he needs wide receiver, and I think Keelan Cole's better than Cameron Brate. So I got him to throw in a third, and I'm like, this is going to be an instant accept. I have a good enough team that I can handle this. I just want to get it done. I'm not concerned if I lose this trade. I just want to get it done, So I got it done. I'm like, all right, I got Cameron Brate. I got somebody in the meantime whenever Ingram's hurt. I got somebody as a bye week replacement for Trey Burton, and guess what I find out? Cameron Brate is also on bye, so it's probably the stupidest I've felt in a while. So I had to pick up Red Ellison, and I'm going to start Red Ellison. So wing and a prayer. And I'm going to give you my looking forward
Who's my wing and the prayer last week?
I don't know. Who was it?
Red Ellison.
Oh, okay.
That worked out well.
Well, we're going to wing and a prayer again. Let's both pray. Let's pray together.
He's an angel.
But I'm also going to give you my looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Hill and Mahomes versus Jacksonville. I know we cut that segment, but I want to see if Tyreek Hill can be a dude versus Jalen Ramsey after calling him out. I want to see if Mahomes can be a dude against the Jacksonville defense, which is studly, but has been kind of unmasked a little bit this year. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Nice.
Well, thanks for those, Schepps, and have a good day at work while we enjoy our Friday night and more bubbles and some more chocolate.
Enjoy.
Brownies.
You're going to go play Fortnite, you said? You're going to play Fortnite with your bubbles?
Probably pass out.
Friday night. You said Friday night. I heard Fortnite.
No, we're just gonna finish our beverages and then we'll do some flossing.
Yep. Clean our teeth well.
All right.
No,
Unless flossing means something else.
No, it's a Fortnite thing.
It's been fun. Go Yankees. We got Go Yankees. Goshen, the team I coach, we got a rivalry game against our crosstown rivals tonight for the Spirit Trophy. So go Goshen, go Yankees, and then I make my flag football debut tomorrow night. So go Schepps.
All right, go Schepps. I was just going to say go Schepps as in just go.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take care.
See you, Schepps. Thanks, dude.
Thanks.
All right, who do you have for your wing and your prayer, AJ?
Wing and a prayer. And I got a couple of guys. D.D. Westbrook at the Jags are at Kansas City.
This is a wing and a prayer. D.D. Westbrook is a wing and a prayer.
Yeah.
You know what a wing and a prayer is? You understand the concept of this.
But is he not wing and a prayer-ish? I've got another one anyway.
Not really.
Well, I'll tell you about this one, then I've got another one.
Okay.
So last week, Westbrook had a season-high 9 receptions for 130 yards on 13 targets. Fournette's out. The Chiefs are average versus the pass. This game will require the Jags to put points on the board, no matter how well the Jags D plays. So, D.D. Westbrook. But I do have a better one. Maybe this is a better wing and a prayer. Hayden Hurst.
Better.
Okay.
That's what we want.
At Cleveland. Hurst making his season debut. And, gee, you and I, we know, Flacco likes a nice tight end, doesn't he?
He's just looking for someone else to have a barbecue with.
Yeah, he is. And Cleveland is number 20 versus tight ends.
Maybe barbecue's code. I've no idea.
Who knows?
Don't know how that other world works, AJ. Maybe you do.
I do not. Now, gee, who do you have?
I have CJ Beathard.
Oh,
San Francisco quarterback. Last week had 298, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, 19 rushing yards. Look, there's a lot of super flex leagues around at the moment, and the buys are upon us, AJ, as you look at your phone and not concentrate on what I'm saying.
I'm teeing up the next segment. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Look, he knows the offense as well as Jimmy G does. And look, Shanahan's not going to change anything just because CJ Beathard is in there. Mate, and he looked okay last week. Mate, he can take a shot, can't he? Seriously, he got pounded last week. Like, sometimes you just got to know when to not take it.
Yeah.
So, and he can give you points with his legs as he showed last week, up against the Cards this week. And the only thing, the Cards are good against wide receivers and quarterbacks, suck against RBs, so that might be against him this week. But, no, CJ Beathard, if you have 2 quarterback leagues with buys.
Yeah, perfect. Well, gee, let's go to Twitter questions.
This will be good.
Okay. So
There's some coming, isn't there?
Yeah. Now, a couple of small shout-outs. So, just a shout-out to Simon Welbury. He just asked us where we're based because it sounds like he's from the UK. Sounds like maybe he's on holiday, Brisbane or the Gold Coast. Was wondering if we were around to catch a game, but we're in Melbourne. Sorry, Simon. Weather's a bit better
for him
up there.
To chip in for the airfare. Grab him for a drink.
Also, shout out to the RaiderRamble.com. They're part of the network with the Just Win ladies.
Oh, excellent.
And they said, keep up the good work. Also, same to you guys. Raider Ramble's fantastic. Raider fans, go check it out if you have not already. Chris Ganley. A bit of context, G. Mm-hmm. So when I put out the Drinks of the Pod tweet, now you've taken the lead in our redraft league. This is our original redraft.
I have.
League, right?
Over whom? Over whom?
Over whom?
Over whom?
The analyst?
The analyst, Chris
Yes.
Ganley.
Yes. He said, nothing, I'm just trying to make sense of this, nothing positional as a 70-point crushing of G last week demonstrates. But a few things. One, can this scoring keep
that we
up?
play against each other, that's why.
He does have a few questions, though. Can this scoring keep up? Well, we did talk about that right at the top about how it's been record-setting scoring.
Oh, look, can it? It's been good weather. That helps.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true, I guess. Once it gets colder, I mean, the scores might drop. Bad weather, it's winter.
Except for
snow.
Teams that play in domes, obviously.
Yeah.
Can it keep up? Well, like we said, with the way that they're protecting quarterbacks at the moment, yeah, why not?
Number 2, he says, what's acceptable for your quarterback each week? I think he means in terms of score.
Acceptable?
Yeah.
Don't get arrested, don't drink drive, don't do drugs.
You know, it's a fair question because you could be, let's say your quarterback has 250 yards and a touchdown. You're going to be disappointed.
Maybe don't flick the towel in the locker. That doesn't help anybody.
Focus.
Oh, sorry.
Right. So like 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. 250 yards and 1 touchdown?
No.
No. 300 yards, 1 touchdown?
No. You want 2.
You want
at least
2,
2. Minimal 2, 300 yards, acceptable. No interceptions.
Yep. Another question. Are defenses getting better at the strip tackle,
Yes.
or is it just me?
No, they are.
They are. I agree.
Because they're practicing it. It's part of practice now. It never used to be. Now it
Yeah.
is. It has been for a while, but they're just getting. If you watch it now, the more intent on knocking the ball out first. Me and Chris spoke about this actually, and I said if you watch them, they'll put one hand to tackle and one hand to punch it out. And if they can't punch it out, they'll just wrap them up.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Precisely. Cheers, guys, and keep up the good work. Go Pats. I don't know why I read that bit at the end.
No, I don't read that bit.
Message from Rebecca Hain, who says, how great is Drew Brees? Great. And he's about to be the best passer in the NFL, which is fantastic. And look, we think a lot of Drew Brees. I mean, I used to be a Chargers fan. If only he stayed a Charger. That would have been nice.
There you go.
No, but how about this? when your team lets a guy go and he ends up being a Hall of Fame caliber player, that's got to bite.
Won't be the last.
Oh, no.
Mate, is there any difference between... I suppose it's a bit different when you actually have him in the building, but is there any difference on passing up in the draft on someone?
Yeah.
It probably is.
There is a big difference.
That's what I'm saying. It's a bit different when you have him in the...
If you got him in the building, you let him go.
Yeah.
From Craft Beer Jay. How you doing, Jay? He said, pick me a quarterback. Now, I don't believe he's asking.
Matt Ryan.
Mahomes, Rodgers, Dalton, or Bortles? What? It's got to be Mahomes, hasn't it? You just start Mahomes all the time.
Hard week.
Well, he says, Rodgers, wide receivers all injured. Mahomes versus the Jags defense. So should he stay with the hot Mahomes?
Bortles could light it up this week against KC.
He could, but is it really... Are you going to get fancy, given what Mahomes has done? And given his great performance, as we said, against the Broncos, like, honestly... The Broncos played him so hard.
I must admit, I don't even know what he scored. He did run one in, which helps.
His fantasy score was decent.
It was decent?
Yeah. I reckon you go Mahomes. Don't muck around.
No, you just ride it while it's there, even if you have to bareback it.
Bareback it. He also asks, what TV shows have you guys been watching?
What TV shows? I don't. Mate, I think we spoke about this in the past. I don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest. And to be... Look... While the season's going, as soon as the game's finished, Monday night until now, I try and watch every game.
Yeah.
Even in the condensed form, that takes a lot of time. So,
it does take a ton of time.
I actually don't watch any TV.
I can throw a couple in there. I'm watching the fourth season of Better Call Saul. If you're a big Breaking Bad fan, Vince Gilligan, I reckon he's one of the best writers in Hollywood.
Better Call Saul or Better Call Saul?
Saul.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea, mate. I don't watch it. Is that like Moet and Moe?
I don't know about that. Yeah. And I've been watching a bit of Sharp Objects.
No idea. Sorry, I got...
Amy Adams.
Throw my hands up in the air, mate. I got no idea.
Ooh, it's pretty
We need to get my wife in. She loves watching...
It's out there.
Netflix, bloody... She watches that much stuff.
Does she?
Oh, yeah. No time.
Okay.
I want to watch a movie. Sit down, watch a movie, bang it all over in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Move on.
Move on. From Drew Locke, he asks, pick two in PPR. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ingram or Connor. Mixon is his RB1, so he needs one of those, Ingram or Connor. And then one of Ingram, Connor, Galladay, Crowder or Watkins in the flex.
I need to write that down. I've drank a whole bottle of bloody champagne.
Well, just
You're asking me to remember that.
Okay, pick one of Ingram or Connor as the RB2. Do that first.
What running backs do against Atlanta?
Connor. It's got to be Connor.
I honestly believe that Ingram will come out this week and absolutely explode.
Really?
Yeah, I have him in a few leagues with that guy that texted him before. I think Chris is his name. And mate, well, I think we have him in 3 leagues together. Mate, bang, he's in straight away. Boom.
Yeah.
I want to just throw him in there. But you just spoke about Connor, how he hasn't really been setting the world on fire since that first game, has he?
Last couple of games.
Yeah,
so... no, but I put him in my starts this week, okay. James Conner.
I'm going to go... I'll go Ingram.
Well, that doesn't help. If I go Connor...
Well, mate, he can decide on who he'd rather believe, you or me. That's
okay.
Fine.
Well, I tell you what, Drew, I reckon either one of those is good. I'd start Connor. G would start Ingram.
So if you had Connor or Ingram, you'd start Connor over Ingram?
Yes.
Okay, well, I own Connor in some. I'm starting Ingram in all 3 leagues that I own him.
But wait, because then he's got a flex spot, and he could start either of... I guess the one he doesn't start, so Ingram or Connor, Galladay, Crowder, Watkins. Okay, Watkins, no. Crowder, not above Galladay.
No, I love Galladay at the moment. I have him in my starts.
It's PPR too.
I have him in my starts.
It's PPR as well.
That changes a few things. No, I'm going to go with. I think Matt Stafford is starting to look more like Matt Stafford. He started a bit slow. He's starting to look like Matt Stafford now. I think Galladay's. You have to accept that he's going to get a couple of big plays. I think Galladay. And just take the yardage over what Crowder... And what Crowder to date hasn't done anything.
No, that's true.
So I'm going to take the guy that's actually done something.
Galladay. Yeah. I'd be tempted to put the one that... So if I put Connor in as the RB2, I'd be tempted to put Ingram in there.
Okay, that's a fair call.
Yeah. So...
But I'm still going Ingram, Galladay.
So you went Ingram, Galladay, I went Connor, Ingram.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. There are also a couple of replies on top of our drinks of the pod. So, again, the analyst chipped in. He said, no point in being on top now, G. Just ask your Tigers. How did that work out? Ooh. Shots fired.
Only as good as your last premiership.
And
how things going down in Geelong.
And Craft Beer J said he massively approves of the beer. The champagne brag, not so much.
Where are you? 6th? That's all right. No problems.
And here's maybe one for next week, G. From Sean Walsh. He says, if you like a porter, you must check out the Cooinda Milk Porter.
Okay.
Has knocked Tuberac's Porter off the top of my list. No clue, Sean.
No, not a beer drinker.
I'm happy to try it. There's a couple of recommendations. Okay, G, that's it.
Done.
Bang.
Boom.
Done. Boom.
Not exactly a fast
like a moth. Like a moth on the third day.
We started off really well.
And now we're done.
And then we hit the wall and things started to slow down.
That's right.
Lactic acid build up and...
Yep. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. And the brownie's really good, G. There's a couple of points in there. I was able to sneak a couple of little sneaky bites. Very nice.
Look after
My regards to Logan. Thank you. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Hope your leagues are going well. And if they're not, I mean, I've got a couple of teams that are 0-4. It's not time to panic.
Yes, it is.
Okay, it is. Sort of.
0-4, you gone.
Well, no, you're not gone, but it's time to do some trading.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What do you mean? No,
Tank.
It's not. No,
Tank.
No, tank. Tank.
Yep.
Look to next year already.
Yes. Go for that number 1 pick.
What if you're only in one league and you're 0-4? You only play one league.
Tank.
Gee, we would never condone somebody actually tanking.
No, I have. Well, you don't make it obvious, but tank.
Yeah, on that controversial note, thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the NFL season. It is a cracker.
It's going well.
It is going well.
Just a little bit on the spicy side, isn't it? So
it
far?
is, very much so. On behalf of G and myself, thanks, everybody. We will catch you next time.